Hey everyone, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and today I've got a 4K review of a movie from one of my favorite directors that somehow never even made it to Blu-ray. Hey everyone, thanks for coming back to the channel today for this review. Today we're going to be diving into the 4K UHD release of Red Eye from Wes Craven, brand new here on 4K and Blu-ray from Paramount Presents. I'll be talking about the movie itself a little bit because I don't think it gets enough attention, and then I'll also cover the video transfer. We'll talk about the audio quality, and we'll dive into the packaging and special features and why this is such an important release for fans of Wes Craven. So to kick things off, Red Eye is probably one of Wes Craven's lesser known films. Like, everybody knows Scream, everybody knows Nightmare on Elm Street, a lot of people even know Last House on the Left. Like, a lot of people know his work, but Red Eye doesn't usually come up in conversation, and I think it should. The movie's from 2005, and it's basically about, it's a thriller that takes place partially in an airport on an airplane, and then it expands outside of that in the second half of the movie. But it stars Cillian Murphy and Rachel McAdams, and they are a dynamic duo on the screen. Cillian Murphy, of course, always great. This was pretty early on in his acting days, or around like the 28 Days Later phase, where he wasn't, it was pre-Peaky Blinders, where people didn't really know him as well yet, but he's such a great actor, and Rachel McAdams does a great job as well. And it's just this awesome, like, Hitchcock thriller. But the thing that really struck me when I watched this for the first time, and I saw this back in 2005 on DVD, I distinctly remember getting a DVD in the mail from Netflix with Red Eye right when it came out. And it sort of plays on like a really interesting fear, because in 2005, and when he was filming this in probably 2004, we're only 3-4 years removed from 9/11. People were still very, very nervous about getting on planes and the security in airports, and being stuck on a plane with potentially somebody crazy. And this movie just expertly plays on all of that while also giving it its own thriller spin. Like, it's not just a movie about how scary it can be on a plane with a psychopath. There's levels to this, and it's a great performance by the cast. It's a great piece of directing by Wes Craven. I really think this movie deserves a ton more attention. Now, the visual transfer here was very exciting to watch in 4K because, as I mentioned, last time I saw this movie was a DVD copy, and for some reason this movie skipped the Blu-ray format entirely. It never had a Blu-ray release. It's one of those films I talk about that even popular movies owned by Paramount, directed by Wes Craven, was available on DVD, never got a Blu-ray. So if you think that a movie like this doesn't get a Blu-ray, how many others that are a little more obscure out there didn't get Blu-ray releases? Never mind 4K, which is why I was so excited. Not only were we getting the upgrade, but we were going all the way up to 4K. So Paramount Presents gets a ton of props for that, for filling a gap in their back catalog. Now, this movie was shot on 35mm, and it shows. You've got some nice grain here. It's got a very filmic look and feel, but it's also 2004, 2005, so pretty high-end cameras. Great transfer here from Paramount. Really nice work. No DNR applied, no kind of fuzziness like that. They didn't screw with it. It's got a real solid 35mm look and feel. The HDR on top of that adds a next level over the Blu-ray. So getting this on Blu-ray would be great for you collectors out there who maybe haven't upgraded to 4K. But taking this to 4K, given its 35mm source, given that the source was probably in pretty good condition, definitely looks that way. It looks fantastic here on 4K, and it was really nice to see this get that full treatment, because I wanted that sharp detail. I wanted the HDR. I wanted colors that popped, and it's not the most colorful movie in the world, but like, I love these newer movies that were shot on film because they just look so fantastic and so filmic. There's a real nostalgia there for movies that were shot on film that I get for these 35mm entries, even in the early 2000s, or even up to today. So was really excited to see Paramount didn't mess with this one, didn't try to do any revisionist color grading or DNR scrubbing and grain scrubbing. They left it nice and authentic and intact, and it looks excellent on 4K UHD. Now, the audio on this is a 5.1 DTS HD, so there's no Atmos here, any of like those new audio tracks, but given that, again, we only had a DVD, this is the first time this movie's been released with lossless HD audio, which is a good thing. And it packs a pretty solid punch. It has a lot of great music. Like, that Hitchcockian thriller is not just tied to the way the story is drawn up and the acting and the performances. Like, there's some great musical moments in this, which sounded excellent. For a 5.1, I thought it packed a really nice punch. There's some really good bass throughout, especially while they're on the plane. There's actually a few moments that shocked me at how loud they could get. I wasn't expecting them. Again, not having seen this movie in 15 years, 18 years actually, I was still kind of shocked and surprised at some of those jumpy audio moments. So it really does pack a punch. And although it's not Atmos, I would never give it a downgrade for that, because that is a really high tier thing that I reserve for these big event movies. And Red Eye didn't need it, and it doesn't need it on disc, and it sounds great without it, and you guys are going to have a great time with the 5.1. It is one of the better 5-channel tracks that I think I've listened to lately. Now, packaging wise, you've got some new artwork courtesy of Paramount Presents here. You get the little 2005 and the bottom, spine number 39. They're still spine numbering these, which is nice. And then you do have the fold out slipcover with the original artwork. So if you like the original artwork, that's always there. On the inside, you get their clear Blu-ray case, which I appreciate. And then both the 4K and the Blu-ray disc have some nice artwork. This also comes with a digital code, which should redeem in 4K. So you get the Blu-ray for the first time ever, 4K for the first time ever. And I don't know how easy this was to find on digital services, but now you've got your own digital 4K code as well. So you've got all your bases covered, which is awesome, because this movie is one of those that could have easily been forgotten. Given that it only had a DVD release, and it's crazy that a Wes Craven film could be forgotten, but Paramount Presents has revived it for an entirely new generation here with this great physical release. Quickly on the special features, because there is some nice stuff here, and they were done by my buddy Justin Beam, who was on my podcast, so shout out to Justin for this release. Great job on it. But the Blu-ray has all the special features. 4K is just the film. But there's actually 3 new features never before seen. There's a commentary by the editor of the film, Patrick Lussier. There's a new filmmaker focus on Wes Craven and Red Eye. And then there's actually a new interview with Wes Craven that Justin mentioned on the podcast that they sort of rediscovered. It had been sitting around, but it had never been released before. Wes Craven in his own words. So, given the fact that unfortunately Wes passed away a few years back, we weren't going to be able to get any new features from him. But Justin went through the vaults and found some new features anyway. So very, very cool there. And then it has a legacy commentary with Wes, with producer Marianne Maddalena, and the editor again, Patrick Lussier. The making of Red Eye, Wes Craven, a new kind of thriller, which is a legacy feature on the sort of the making of again. And then a gag reel, which is kind of fun given that this is such a serious thriller. The gag reels are always funny to see for movies like this. But the special features, having 3 brand new features, a new commentary, new interview with Wes Craven, the legend, it's really good stuff. So I highly, highly recommend this movie. If you guys have not seen it, it's an excellent movie. One of Wes Craven's best. It doesn't line up with, his other kind of slashers and his other more serious horror movies. It was definitely a departure from his norm, but you still get that Wes Craven feel, and this is like Wes Craven plus Hitchcock equals Red Eye. It's his real take on a really high intensity dramatic thriller, and I love it. He nails it. So the best way to watch this, of course, is going to be 4K disc, especially because we've only had DVDs out there. You also get the brand new Blu-ray with this, so it's a no-brainer whether you've got 4K or you're still rocking the 1080p Blu-ray. This is the one to buy. So if you guys want to pick this up, I highly recommend it. You can grab it using the link down in my description and in the pinned comment, and that supports my channel, so I appreciate it, and it supports Paramount. So give them a shout because they've been doing some great work lately. Thanks for watching this review. As always, make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube so you never miss a review video. Check out the Films at Home podcast for that interview with Justin, where he talks a little bit about Red Eye and the special features on this release, and all the other great guests that I've had on the podcast. And of course, social media links will be in the description as well. So come connect with me, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm literally everywhere, so connect with me over there. But hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy out there. Here's to more Paramount Presents back catalog being brought to Blu-ray or 4K for the first time. This is amazing. And I will talk to you guys soon.